President Trump busy writing a brand new chapter in American trade policy. But if you say the word tariff to most Democrats, they'll tell you it's the work of the devil. Pennsylvania Congressman Chris Deluzio, well, he feels differently.
He's urging his Democratic colleagues to rethink their anti-tariff stance, writing in an op-ed, quote, Democrats have wasted no time rejecting President Trump's tariffs as damaging and unnecessary. This anti-tariff absolutism is a mistake. And he joins us now with more. Welcome, Congressman Deluzio. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. Congressman, thanks for being here. You are from a swing district in the Rust Belt, where, by the way, I have family members, so look out. What would you say to your Democratic colleagues about getting on board and being part of the solution when it comes to tariffs that will help people who live in your district?
Well, look, as you probably know, my district is like many places in the country. We make steel. We have a lot of proud manufacturing. Tariffs have got to be one piece of what we use: industrial policy, pro-worker policies. We can't reject them out of hand. But I've also been clear, I've been critical of the president's approach here. I think Donald Trump has been all over the place. I want to see tariffs that are strategic and tougher on, say, China than they are on Canada. We got to go back to the drawing board on the Mexico-Canada agreement. But you cannot just rely on tariffs alone. I think they can be part of a strategic approach to bringing more manufacturing back in this country. And Democrats shouldn't reject them out of hand. And frankly, President Trump and his team should not be relying solely on tariffs and the inconsistency that I've seen out of this administration.
So, Congressman, this sounds like you get that this is a tool, this is a negotiating tool. But we have other states that produce a lot of dairy. We see the tariff difference. Frankly, we're being robbed by Canada when you get up to 300% when you go over the limit on dairy imports into Canada. Why not go to Wisconsin? Why not expand what we do? And is that something you and your fellow Democrats are willing to do?
Well, look, I speak for me, and I will tell you that we in my party certainly care a heck of a lot about farmers, about manufacturers. And again, I come back to this basic point. Tariffs are a tool. It's not the only tool. And so when I talk about being strategic and being tough, I look and think about communist China. They have been dominating the steel industry in particular, breaking the rules, exploiting their workers, dumping and subsidizing their industry. That's a place where the steel tariffs that President Trump and President Biden expanded on makes sense. We got to be strategic about it and pair it with real investments at home. You cannot be all over the place. You cannot be doing just tariffs and ignoring wage suppression, currency manipulation in these countries. It all plays together, and I think our government's got to wake up to that fact.
Congressman, are there other members of your party who feel the way that you do but won't say it publicly? Because it's not, it's not acceptable to say anything that might line up with even a small sliver of the Republican agenda?
Look, I think plenty of Democrats are more than loud about supporting American manufacturing, union jobs, and the rest. And again, I think the way that President Trump is doing this is a mistake. He's not been strategic. He's been doing and pushing reciprocal tariffs, say with Mexico, while ignoring the fact that we've had duty-free access for most of our goods into Mexico since NAFTA, and yet the trade deficit has exploded. His approach is not working, and Democrats have to articulate our own strategy that has tariffs as a part of it, but it can't be the only part.
Well, what is the rest, in a quick answer, if you will, Congressman, what is the rest of your strategy if it's not to go this route? What's the achievable method that you would use?
Well, number one, I'd close this de minimis loophole that the Chinese are exploiting to flood our communities with fentanyl. I would do that right now, and the president ought to do it. And frankly, I'd embrace more industrial policy around key industries that need our government to step up, because frankly, the countries we're competing with, their governments are doing exactly that. Communist China is front of mind for me.
Yeah,
the president did
well,
this.
Yeah, it's called, we'll have you back, Congressman.
We got to get you back for more of this.
Because that's what President Biden tried, and it's essentially economic fascism, and it was in large part a failure for the last 4 years. But we will have you back.
We'll disagree, but I'm excited to get back on.
Okay.
All right, that's a deal, Congressman.
I can debate all day on that. Thank you, sir.
Very good.
Thank you, Congressman.